Good morning, students. Kingdom Animalia series we are running. In the series, today we are going to learn a crucial topic, that is coelom. Kingdom Animalia series, little confusing, little complicated, but not for us. Focus on these. For that I am saying it is little complicated. Your attention required. What is coelom? Coelom means body cavity. Coelom simply we can call body cavity. So where does the coelom will appear? To understand this, we need to start the story from zygote. Zygote divides, two cells are formed, then four cells, then eight cells. Likewise, there is a stage called marula, and marula develops into blastula. The basic difference between this marula and marula is a solid ball. We can say cricket ball. This cricket ball will become football. That what do you say? Blastula. That means when solid ball become hollow ball, there is a cavity appear. What do you say the cavity as? First time in the during the process of development, zygote, 2 cell, 4 cell, 8, marula. After marula, whatever the stage first time appeared, that stage got a cavity. First time cavity appeared, that's why you can call this cavity as primary body cavity. We call such cavity. First time appeared, hence we say this cavity can be called as primary body cavity. Appeared in the blastula, hence you can call it as blastocele. Okay, primary body cavity cannot be a body cavity of adult, but during embryonic development, during the process of development, there is a cavity appeared for the first time. That cavity we are saying it as primary body cavity. Now let us see what happens to the next cavity appearance. How does the cavity appear? All that we have to say. And the blastula now become gastrula. How? How it means no, not required for us, just for your information. Like the same football, when you start pressing with your thumb like this, if you are pressing, the two edges will come together. You have to imagine like that. Technically, you can call this as invagination. When invagination of the cells are happening, a blastula become gastrula. How does it appear? No matter for us. But after the blastula, there is a cavity appeared. We call the cavity as gastrula. In the gastrula, I think you know this because we learned it for so many times in the previous classes. For other purposes, this is the purpose we learned before. We said outer layer as ectoderm and inner layer as endoderm. Outer layer ectoderm, inner layer endoderm. If only these two layers are present, we call it as diploblastic organism. And by the appearance of third layer, if three layers are present, we said it as triploblastic organism. Three germ layers are there, triploblastic. Two germ layers are there, we said it as diploblastic, isn't it? Okay, that we learned already, diploblastic and triploblastic you just have in the previous classes. Now let's go through this cavity. What is the cavity? The same cavity. The same cavity, blastocele, or you may call it as primary body cavity. To understand the coelom, this stage is crucial for us. Mesoderm will also appear. This stage is crucial for us. So, in this stage, these names you people need to remember, and let me draw this again for you, that this is the basic stage to understand the coelom. Gastrula, how does it appear? We have seen already. Then in that, the outer layer of the gastrula we can call ectoderm. Outer layer is said to be ectoderm. And let's take another color. endoderm, for endoderm. This is the inner layer, endoderm, and this is the cavity, we said blastocele, or you may call it as a primary body cavity, blastocele or primary body cavity. Okay. So, talking about the triploblastic organisms, definitely you can expect, you need to expect the third germ layer. Who is the third germ layer? We have ectoderm, we have endoderm. Who is that third germ layer? The third germ layer is going to be mesoderm. And mesoderm is hero for our topic, coelom. Did you remember where do you get this name coelom? From where we are taking this? Kingdom Animalia series, division Protostomia, classified into a coelomata, pseudocoelomata, schizocilomata, enterocoelomata, isn't it? We are talking about that only. Okay, so how does that particular coelom is appeared? How does that particular coelom is appeared? We are just talking about that. This is the place where our hero comes. This is the place where our hero comes. What is that place? Is that we can say, uh, what is this ectoderm, isn't it? What is this endoderm? So, what is this junction between ectoderm and endoderm? Can we say like this? Junction where ectoderm, endoderm meet each other. Did you remember this opening? In the last class, we said this opening as a blastopore. If the blastopore develops into mouth, we said protostomia. Blastopore develops into anus, we called it as deuterostomia. Did you remember that? So, with that, we are framing an address here. What is the address? At the rim, or you may call margin. At the rim or margin of blastopore means address. This is the blastopore, rim or margin of blastopore, or you can call another address where ectoderm, that yellow one, and endoderm, that white one. In the body itself, we don't have such colors, just for your identification I am saying, where ectoderm, endoderm are continuous each other, contact each other at the rim or margin of blastopore, where ectoderm, endoderm are continuous each other, where ectoderm, endoderm are continuous each other. What happened? This is the common line for all coming coeloms. What happened? What happened? Mesodermal cells are originated. Okay. So, yet to come layer is mesoderm. We are talking about that mesoderm only. Mesoderm decides what type of coelom should present in the organisms, or whatever the coelom they have, that is due to mesoderm at the time of embryonic development. Okay. Let us talk about this. First of all, let us talk about a coelom. A coelom. Did you remember a coelomata? And in the last class, we said about A means absent, coelom means body cavity. So, what is a coelom? Body cavity is absent. A coelom, body cavity is absent. Phylum, phylum Platyhelminthes. Almost we came to the end, and after the continuous practice, I hope you might have practiced over to reach phylum Platyhelminthes in the hierarchy kingdom Animalia, subkingdom Eumetazoa, grade Bilateria or Triploblastica, division Protostomia, subdivision Acoelomata. We reach to the phylum Platyhelminthes. So, phylum Platyhelminthes body cavity is absent. Let me show one example to you. Liver fluke we are taking, fasciola hepatica. This is the fasciola hepatica. Liver fluke, a parasite which is having alimentary canal. Unfortunately, they have only one opening, mouth is there but no anus. Okay, that issues will be discussed afterwards. But this is the body wall and this is the gut wall. Body wall formed from ectoderm, gut wall formed from endoderm. Okay, so in between these two, body wall and gut wall, there is no body cavity. I am filling with the pink. There is no body cavity. There is no body cavity between the body wall and gut wall. So now we are asking fasciola hepatica, or you may call commonly as liver fluke. Liver fluke, we can say, fasciola hepatica, liver fluke, a parasite of phylum Platyhelminthes, don't have body cavity between the body wall and gut wall. We are asking fasciola hepatica or liver fluke, why you don't have body cavity? Why you don't have body cavity? So, for that, what answer we are getting from fasciola? They are saying look back. Look back means embryonic development. During the process of development, during embryonic development, our so-called mesoderm, till the time from last 5 minutes, it all seems to be little confusing. Now it came to end. Now you will understand everything here, everything. So I just started the story from here. The address already we said at the rim or margin of blastopore. Blastopore wala edges, where ectoderm, endoderm are continuous each other. Mesodermal cells are originated. See what they are doing during embryonic development, filling the whole cavity present inside. Filling the whole cavity. Complete cavity is filled by whom? Our said mesoderm. You may call it as mesenchymal tissue after the development. That mesoderm, which developed as a mesenchymal tissue, that is the result in adult. Okay, so I am asking liver fluke, fasciola, adult. This is the organism. What happened? Why you don't have body cavity? Thus, they are answering that in my childhood. That means I am talking about during embryonic development. In my childhood and during the process of embryonic development, where I started the story from zygote, 2 cell, 4 cell, marula, blastula, that developed into the gastrula. Then after what happened? The mesoderm, from where it is originated, from where it came, at the rim or margin of blastopore, where ectoderm, endoderm are continuous each other. The mesodermal cells who get originated from there, they divides rapidly, filled the body cavity. So that mesoderm is the hero I said over. What the mesoderm did? Filled the whole cavity. That's why you don't have cavity. Whatever present, you can call a tissue named as mesenchymal tissue. It is filled with mesenchymal tissue. Why no cavity? Mesoderm. Okay, we'll see the next story. The same, again I have to take the same, that outer layer ectoderm, inner layer endoderm. This is the outer layer, and this is the inner layer endoderm, and as usual this is the place where the rim or margin of blastopore, where ectoderm and endoderm are continuous each other. What happened? Let me take pink. Actually you are taken pink. For mesoderm we gave the color pink, little odd color which make us to recognize easily. See, in this case what mesoderm is doing, mesoderm went towards the ectoderm. Mesoderm went towards the ectoderm. So who remain? The cavity at least remain. Which cavity? What do you name that cavity as? Blastocele or primary body cavity. Let me remind you once again. What is the outer layer? Ectoderm. What is the inner layer? Endoderm. And there is a cavity. What is that cavity? Blastocele or primary body cavity. And this is the mesoderm. This is mesoderm. What happened to the mesoderm? The pink one, mesoderm. So just by comparison, you can understand this. Coelom is little confusing, but in the angle of mesoderm, it will be very easy. In the angle of mesoderm, it will be very easy. Two cases I explained. First case, filled the whole cavity. First case, filled the whole cavity. Second case, nothing happened to the cavity. So, there is a cavity appeared at least, blastocele or primary body cavity, which is already there. So, that remain, but our mesoderm went towards the ectoderm. That keep it like this, keep it like this. We'll continue. We'll see the another case. As usual, same gastrula stage. What is the outer layer? Ectoderm. And what is the inner layer? Endoderm. As usual, the opening we call blastopore, and the rims. This is the rim. Same place, at the rim or margin. Means here, whatever the organism it is, the basic development is going to be always the same. Either you, human being, or either an earthworm, or it's a tapeworm, or it's a liver fluke, or it's a roundworm. Whatever the organism, whatever the phylum, story begins from zygote, 2 cell, 4, marula will come, then blastula, cavity in the blastula, blastocele or primary body cavity. Then a stage comes gastrula. If 3 layers are present, we call it as triploblastic, phylum Platyhelminthes to chordata, isn't it? So, story of phylum Platyhelminthes we are already seen. Mesoderm fills the whole body cavity. Mesoderm filled the whole body cavity. Okay. Next, what next? This is the next case. I didn't named it actually, just I explained the situation. Mesoderm went to one side, cavity is there. Okay. So, to understand this, you should go back again, but let me complete this. Now, in the case number 3, what the mesoderm is doing? This is the cavity, blastocele or primary body cavity. Mesoderm now not going towards the ectoderm side, endoderm side. Mesoderm just standing alone there. Mesoderm not going to ectoderm or endoderm, just standing alone there. So, this particular mesoderm, which is there, in the center, not doing anything. The mesoderm which is in the center, not doing anything. So, let us see what it happens. So, the story mesoderm, I am little extending this. So, I want to keep this diagram because for our understanding, I will take the another one. Same colors we need to use, ectoderm and the green we are taken, okay, endoderm, and our mesoderm is waiting in the middle. Mesoderm is waiting in the middle because when it completed, you people need to understand, isn't it? That's why I am keeping this diagram. I am keeping this diagram like this only. Now I'll take. Now what the mesoderm is doing? Mesoderm divides. Now the question is there, where it goes, towards the ectoderm or towards the endoderm? See, mesoderm splits. A split happened. We can say this as splitting. Splitting of mesoderm. Did it remember? Do you remember anything here? By knowing this word, where did we use this word in the previous classes? Splitting of mesoderm. Mesoderm divides. Mesoderm splits. Here, the cavity is already there. First time appeared cavity, we call it as primary body cavity, isn't it? So, that primary body cavity, after primary body cavity, in the mesoderm, after splitting, we have another cavity. What is that cavity? Secondary body cavity. First time appeared cavity is called as primary body cavity. So, now a new cavity appeared. A new cavity appeared after the splitting of mesoderm. I will show you what happens after splitting? As usual, the thought diagram, that is, this is the ectoderm, and next, which color? Green. Okay, this is the endoderm. And what happens? Mesoderm splits, goes to this side, this side, this side, this side. What it mean? Goes to ectodermal side and goes to endodermal side. That I will show you in the next diagram. After splitting, mesoderm went to the ectodermal side and mesoderm went to the endodermal side. A secondary body cavity is appeared. Okay, whatever the cavity present here, that is much grown, you have to understand, you need to recognize. Okay, you need to recognize. So the another form I will show you. I am reducing the size. The another form I am showing here. Another form, what I mean? Transverse section. The same in the form of transverse section I will show you. Okay, this is the ectoderm. Green we used, isn't it? Little patience required to understand this phenomena. Once you understand, that will be completed over. The pink one, transverse section. I am cutting transversely to understand this again. So the white one is ectoderm, the green one is endoderm. This is in the gastrula, and the pink one is mesoderm. And what is the cavity here? Blastocele or embryonic primary body cavity. Okay. So next diagram. This is the ectoderm. Green one is the endoderm, and next the pink one. What happened? Pink one divides. The ectoderm which is present here, mesoderm which is present here, divides, and there is a cavity appeared. Divides and there is a cavity appeared. So cavity in the center, that I called it as splitting. We say it as splitting. Okay, so splitting. Okay, when a new cavity is appeared, we can name it as secondary body cavity. When a new cavity is appeared, that can be named as secondary body cavity. Okay, secondary body cavity. Then what will be the next diagram? This is very, very, very important. This is the only diagram we will have in the text. All that remaining event just I am showing for you. Outer white is ectoderm, inner green is endoderm. And now let's close the story with our so-called mesoderm. Mesoderm went to the ectoderm side. Mesoderm went to the endoderm side. And now this cavity which is covered with mesoderm is called secondary body cavity. Secondary body cavity. This is called true body cavity. Coelom. True coelom body cavity. Coelom, true body cavity. Sir, how to recognize that is a true body cavity? Okay, stand alone here. I am drawing your diagram. See your surroundings. What do you see towards the ectoderm side? What do you see towards the endoderm side? Whole pink, isn't it? That is mesoderm. Means here, if a cavity lined by mesoderm, that is called secondary body cavity. A cavity lined by mesoderm, that only considered as secondary body cavity. We have names even. Mesoderm who went towards the ectoderm side is called somatic or parietal mesoderm. Somatic or parietal mesoderm. Mesoderm who went towards the endoderm side is called visceral or splanchnic mesoderm. visceral or splanchnic mesoderm. Splanchnic, the word is not there in NCERT, but just for options, some options in previous examinations we have that kind of words. That's why I have to say. So this is the story. Okay, this is the story. And how does this particular body cavity appear? How does the body cavity appear? By splitting of mesoderm, isn't it? By the splitting of mesoderm. Splitting of mesoderm. Splitting of mesoderm, we call such kind of body cavity as scheidocoelom, true body cavity, hence called eucoelom, scheidocoelom. What is scheidocoelom? The true body cavity formed by the splitting of mesoderm. Actually, in NCERT, we don't have specific scheidocoelom, enterocoelom. We have only eucoelom. That's why priority given to them, eucoelom only. Last year 2025 options we have this word scheidocoelom option. That's not the answer, option. So that's why I introduced the name, but you people need to understand what is true coelom. A coelom which is lined by mesoderm on both sides, a body cavity lined by mesoderm on both sides, we can call true coelom. Then we have another one, isn't it? Enterocoelom. Kingdom Animalia classification division protostomia include three: acoelomata, pseudocoelomata, scheidocoelomata. Now the deuterostomia is having enterocoelom. After understanding all these, it's very simple to understand enterocoelom. The same old colors I am using, ectoderm and inside endoderm, and our pink is mesoderm. Same thing will happen, but in other way. Pouches are formed. Pouches from this, that green line is the gut, isn't it? Future gut. At present, you can say gut, future gut, archenteron, you can say now. From the archenteron, mesodermal pouches. Mesodermal pouches are formed. Now, let us see what happens to the pouches. What happens to the pouches? These pouches are going to develop. Now, the green one, little patience required. Definitely at the end will be happy ending. Means here little confusing what all these, when you come to a particular stage, that you will understand what is happening. Okay, definitely I accept. Little complicated item, but finally the climax is going to be good and happy ending we can expect. Okay. So, okay, let's talk about mesodermal pouches, they develop. Okay, as usual, this is blastocele, embryonic cavity I said earlier. Did you remember? Blastocele or primary body cavity. A new cavity appeared. First appeared cavity, primary. Now the new cavity appeared, that is secondary. You can see the growth of secondary from the pouches. Pouches grown and pouches reaches towards the ectoderm side and endoderm side. Finally, we want that, isn't it? The cavity should be lined with mesoderm on both sides, only called as true coelom or eucoelom. How does it appear, that matters. Sir, how does it appear? It is from the pouches of archenteron. You can call it as enterocoelom. How does it appear? By the splitting of mesoderm. That's why we can say it as scheidocoelom. And now we have to declare why it is called pseudocoelom. Why it is called pseudocoelom. So this is the cavity we say blastocele or primary body cavity. Our mesoderm went only towards the ectoderm side. Let me show you the same colors. Ectoderm and inside green we are taken, endoderm. Now these particular mesoderm appeared as pouches. We call it as scattered mesodermal pouches. Scattered mesodermal pouches. And very important thing here, the cavity still remain. Which cavity? Blastocele or primary body cavity still remain. Hence we call such kind of body cavity pseudo. What is pseudo? False. Coelom, body cavity. What is pseudocoelom? False body cavity. Why, sir? There is a cavity. At least there is a cavity. Why you call it as false body cavity? Simple. We have a definition for true body cavity. The cavity should present and the cavity should be lined by mesoderm in both sides. The cavity should be lined by mesoderm in both sides. Then only you can say, you have to say true body cavity. Definitely confusing, but in the mesoderm angle, let's see once again. In all the stories, mesoderm is the hero. You see, in the first case, what is the first case? Coelom. Wrote there, okay, no problem. Coelom. What is coelom? Body cavity is absent. What happened? Mesoderm filled the total body cavity. Mesoderm filled the total body cavity, we call the tissue mesenchyme. Hence, what do you say? Coelom. Neither primary body cavity nor secondary, whatever, no cavity is there. That's why we call it as coelom. Phylum Platyhelminthes. Now the same story with mesoderm only. Mesoderm went only towards one side and they developed into scattered mesodermal pouches and embryonic cavity. The cavity, just like a 10th class uniform, you continue to the college, we can say pseudo uniform. Embryonic cavity we call blastocele or primary body cavity if it is there in the adult also. Adult also we can say that is pseudocoelom. Sir, there is a cavity, but the cavity is not lined by mesoderm and embryonic cavity is there in adult also. So that's why we say it as pseudocoelom. This is due to mesoderm itself went only one side, developed as pouches, scattered mesodermal pouches. Now in the two cases actually according to NCERT this is one case, eucoelom, but little extended, like eucoelom is of two types, schizocoelom, enterocoelom. In both cases we have secondary body cavity. Only question how it appears. Secondary body cavity appear from mesoderm. They split, they develop. One reaches to the ectoderm side, one reaches to the endoderm side. A new cavity appeared and the cavity lined by mesoderm. The cavity lined by mesoderm. So, how does the secondary body cavity appear? By splitting of mesoderm, hence we call it as schizocoelom. Next, enterocoelom. How does the secondary body cavities appeared? From the pouches of archenteron and finally we have lining on both sides. That's why I can say this is also true body cavity. Examples we have in the chart. You people need to say what are the examples for the schizocoelomata? Annelida, arthropoda and mollusca. Annelida, arthropoda and mollusca. Annelida, arthropoda, mollusca. Here it is echinodermata, hemichordata, chordata. Echinodermata, hemichordata, chordata. Enterocoelomata, meaning for that enterocoelomata also we are completed today. Echinodermata, hemichordata, chordata. So then pseudocoelomata, nematoda or we can say aschelminthes, nematoda or aschelminthes. Okay. So this is the body cavity. With single line I am now explaining according to the text angle. I explained little elaborative way. All this the story for continuation only. We don't have all this story in the text. Only for continuation. Now let's talk about coelom. A coelom, body cavity is absent. Okay, body cavity absent means between the body wall, alimentary canal, there is a tissue called mesenchyme. They don't have primary body cavity, they don't have even secondary body cavity. So example, phylum Platyhelminthes. That's it. You should remember a line. neither primary nor secondary. There is no any body cavity, a coelom. How it appears? Just I explain. We don't have that kind of information in the text. Just I explain. Single line, pseudocoelom, scattered mesodermal pouches, embryonic cavity remain in the adult also. Example, Asci helminthes. You can't say it's a true body cavity. Next, true body cavity, eucoelom, is of two types, scheidocoelom, enterocoelom. Scheidocoelom formed by the splitting of mesoderm, one line, splitting of mesoderm. Why it is called eucoelom, true body cavity? The cavity should be lined by mesoderm on both directions. Cavity should be lined by mesoderm. Okay. If the cavity, true body cavity formed from the pouches of archenteron, that is called as enterocoelom. Focus on pink line, that is very important. Pink is mesoderm. Mesoderm went to both sides. Hence, this cavity, two sides, it is having mesoderm. Ectoderm side mesoderm is called, the mesoderm which is there on ectoderm side is called somatic or parietal mesoderm. On endoderm side, it is called visceral or splanchnic mesoderm. Okay. We will go to the chart once to understand this procedure. Let's go to the chart. In the chart, we have a single line, or else I will show you the chart directly, that people might have get over this chart, that division protostomia. Directly I am going. Division deuterostomia. Division protostomia. Acylometa. What is acylometa? Now you came to understand. We have line here. Neither primary body cavity nor secondary body cavity. Phylum Platyhelminthes. Pseudocoelometa. False body cavity. Pseudocoelometa. False body cavity. Asci helminthes. And I said to remember as one other word, scattered mesodermal pouches. You may ask, sir, what is scattered mesodermal pouches? For that only this much I explained. Otherwise, you remember that line, that's all. Next, scheidocoelometa. Wait. Scheidocoelometa. Annelida, Arthropoda, mollusca. What is the key word I said to remember? Scheidocoelometa, true body cavity formed from the splitting of mesoderm. Subdivision deuterostomia is having one subdivision, that is enterocoelometa. True body cavity is there. It is from the pouches of archenteron. This scheidocoelometa, enterocoelometa, NCERT says it as eucoelom. So myself little elaborated here, little expanded, scheido and enterocoelometa. So eucoelom is further classified into two. Both are having true body cavity. True body cavity. How it appear, that matters. How it appear? Here splitting of mesoderm. Here pouches developed from archenteron. Okay, so acylometa, phylum Platyhelminthes, pseudocoelometa, nematoda, scheidocoelometa, Annelida, Arthropoda, mollusca, enterocoelometa, echinodermata, hemichordata, chordata. So you need to see this video 2 to 3 times to understand it properly. Finally, a single line, whatever there in the chart, the single line, what is that line? Neither primary body cavity nor secondary body cavity. Here, false body cavity, scattered mesodermal pouches. Here, true body cavity formed by the splitting of mesoderm. Here, true body cavity formed from the pouches of archenteron. Single line to remember, but these diagrams will helpful for us to understand the patterns of coelom. Okay. So that's why I request you people to watch it for 2 to 3 times. Coelom is the only complicated part in the total Kingdom Animalia series. It needs some revision. 1 or 2 times when you revise, definitely you will understand. Thank you.